In this week's episode, we were chatting about lengthening parts of your body, getting a hole in one, and hard things.
Wow, that's fantastic. You're so good.
Welcome. It's funny how we always say welcome.
Welcome.
To episode 44
Yes.
of the No Rep podcast. I am with the usual daubers, Jordan Green and Billy McIntyre.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy.
Hi lads.
What is
How
happening?
are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I should have thought of a better name for you there, but I remembered that's what we do.
Yeah.
I'm fucking class, man. I'm class. It's good. It's roasting.
It is.
You know what? I'm dressed for the weather.
You are. Yeah, give me all the.
Well, to be
overheat me.
fair, you're wearing the same, just with shorts instead of fucking.
This is literally, if I had a
Truesies.
uniform, this would be my uniform.
I
I'd
know.
wear shorts.
For those of us that aren't seeing our beautiful faces, you can actually see us on Spotify. What moved? Oh, he moved. You moved. You
What?
moved.
What did they?
Aye, you were like slouched and then just before
And then you saw. Wrong with you.
I'm so sorry.
We'll speak to you after class. Nah, we're good.
keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling.
The listeners love all the shenanigans that happens
They
in the.
do.
In the
Why?
Keep it
Why
going.
was there a dildo inside your car?
Because I lag it up my ass. didn't expect that answer.
Well, I did.
You did, absolutely. So what are we here? What are we here to chat about today?
We're here to chat about a few things. Oh, in fact, before I forget, oh god, I've just started.
We're just going to. No, we did.
What? We
Did
can
we
maybe
ask
cut
each other
the
how we are?
dildo. Yeah, we did. We covered that bit. But it's a bit of a weird segue to go from something very, very crude to shouting out our youngest fan. We do.
In typical no rep fashion, though.
Typical no rep fashion. So, a bit of back. So my good mate Bradley, shout out Brad, his sister, son, Leon. I can't actually remember how old he is. He'll love the fact that he's going to get a shout out. But he was sitting behind me at the East Kilbride game at Murrayfield.
All right, okay.
So he was with Nick and Bradley's dad, and he was with them watching the rugby because Chris was playing, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there, we're chatting away, and he was telling me how he loves the No Rep podcast and how he listens to it and how he's a fan and whatnot. And he's a very keen footballer. So we get to know him before he becomes famous as a famous footballer. But I actually got a picture as well. So actually his mum messaged me, Nikki, who I know is Bradley's big sister. She messaged me and said...
Stop polluting my brother's mind.
She's like, just to let you know, I don't let him listen to it. It's just that if I have it on in the car, he's in the car with me. Just want to let you know, like, I'm not a bad parent.
Because if you did let your kid listen to it, you would be a bad parent.
But so Brad
Kidding on.
texted me the other day, right? And he texted me a picture that Nicky had forwarded to him saying came upstairs and caught Leon watching the No Rep podcast, and there he is with his headphones on.
There you go. To be quite fair, you could catch him watching worse things. Do you know what I mean?
Well, mate, so this is in the group chat, and then
Get that no rep off. Get the porn on me, man.
and then my mate Dowd went on that. Few more years, and the wee man will be more careful with his maw coming upstairs. But anyway, shout out to Leon.
Shout out to me, man.
Shout out to Leon.
You absolutely love that as well.
So I want to talk about that. Our youngest fan, which is quite cool. But the other thing.
Sorry, see when you said that, I thought you talked about Hattie or something. I thought you like dressed Hattie up in like a no rep t-shirt that we don't have it in. That's quite cool.
I wouldn't
Continue.
pollute her ears with this fucking nonsense. There's no way.
Don't listen, Hattie.
She gets it first hand in the flat.
In the house, I know.
This is true. In fact, Katie was watching it once with us on the telly. And she's going like, daddy, like pointing at it and all that, which is quite cool.
That's cute.
But we were going to talk about something else, something that I think you're going to get, Danny, Nathaniel.
So I'm going to get.
Yeah, you were going to get the surgery, remember?
Oh, leg lengthening surgery.
Leg
I went to
length.
reassignment surgery there.
No, basically, there is. Jordan kind of brought it up. Is that he said, seen these people getting fucking leg lengthening surgeries? There is people out there that are. Well, how do I explain it?
Explain it.
Explain it.
Yeah.
So you've got your thigh bone, right? Better known as your femur.
All right.
It's a bone that's quite. You'd rather have it intact, right? But people want to be taller, so what they do is they get a rod stuck right along the length of it,
Well, they break it first.
They break the femur first. They get the rod stuck right along the length of it, and then they every day gradually just twist it and lengthen the rod so that it lengthens the length of your femur. But the recovery is shocking. The pain you're in is obviously excruciating because it's the biggest, thickest, most robust bone in your body. Can take like a ton X of pressure. Do you know what I mean? And they're getting it snapped, getting it snapped and then lengthened, right? And the recovery's shocking. The rehabs, like you need to learn how to walk again because your muscles, every muscle, your IT band, your tendons, your ligaments, all need to lengthen to the length of your new bone. You need to learn how to walk again. Like it's horrendous. All to gain 10 centimetres, which lads, we all know that's a lot. That's quite a lot actually. But
every little helps.
That's quite a lot, right? But right. Just think about that, right?
Between 9 and 10 centimetres. Aye. So basically, once they've cracked the bone, they insert that rod in. And there's like a kind of clicker. You know how like a wrench.
It's like a medieval torture device.
But you just like every day for like 90 days, you like click at 1 mil, click at 1 mil, click at 1 mil, over and over and over again. And as the bone begins to heal, it heals longer. I don't think it ever heals to the point of like complete like
reconnection or whatever.
Reconnection again, but that's fucking raw.
That's a raw.
So we were watching the videos, right? We were watching the TikToks, and the guy like learning to walk again. Looks like he's been in like a 10-car pile up.
He's in agony. The guy's in agony, right? Now, for all the sake of being taller, right? So then take it back. Is the people getting this done in good mind? Is their mind okay? How thorough is the vetting process before you get this surgery? Because for you to go to the lengths and the extremes of getting your bone snapped in two to then get made longer, to then potentially get bone disease, lose your legs because you've had it done, like never fully be able to get your balance right, all these potential things, never play sport, like all the things that could happen. Is something else going on?
I don't disagree with you, mate. But obviously, like,
question,
like,
is there a difference between
I couldn't put myself in someone's shoes like that because I'm obviously a very tall man. So, what do you two guys think about it? Would you just get it done,
Danny?
I mean, probably a few things. I get longer first.
But that's it. So I was talking about this, right? And I was at that, right? Is there much of a difference between people get things added onto them? Bigger tits, teeth, nose reduced, ears reduced, whatever. Like people get cosmetic surgery. It's obviously not new whatsoever. But the concept of making yourself taller
it's mad.
Doesn't sit right. Doesn't sit right with me.
Adding bits on is just like a wee,
you add
upgrade.
it on, take it away.
Just a wee upgrade.
You get your tits done, you can take them away.
Yep.
Right?
Big tits, back to wee tits.
Exactly, right? You get your lips done, the whatever is in it goes away, and then you get them done again, right? It's like it doesn't seem as bad. Nose jobs look more severe, right? Like that type of stuff, getting your bow. But see, whenever you do it, it's fucking weird. But making yourself taller, there's just something about that.
There's a line, isn't there?
It seems that it's, even though all of it's false, all of it is false. It's all fugazi. It's all fake, right? Making yourself taller just seems like the ultimate. It's like treason almost. You know what I mean?
That's a bit too far, mate. Do you know what I mean?
But it's totally.
You must. I can only imagine the person's head. They're just super fixated on height. So they think everything.
But then you'll be known as the guy that gets surgery to make themselves taller, which is worse.
Aye. So then, obviously, you could unbox that and be like, right, is there too much emphasis maybe from females?
It's women's fault, aye.
It's women's fault, it's definitely.
Round of applause for Evan for making it women's fault.
Aye.
Round of a fucking applause, man.
Right, but do you think there's like an emphasis on...
You're right.
on height? No, I'm not going to go out with a guy unless he's 6'6". Right, calm down, hen. Right.
Maybe societal pressures and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like you definitely get more chat for guys about your height than girls. Personally, me. Like I've always...
you get more banter, more shite about your height.
I'll get banter off guys, like whatever.
But how many videos do you see? And it's like,
women...
requirements like 6 foot,
Good
6
job.
inches,
And like,
6
you're
figures.
fucking 10 in your
I
head.
love the videos of these fucking fat trolls,
I know.
right? And they're sitting there going, my man, he has to fucking earn like 4 mil a year or something like that. And then the guy's hosting the podcast, like, the fuck are you talking about?
What are you giving?
4 mil a year. It's like, you're a fucking troll sitting there, an actual player. Like a solid across the board 3 out of 10, just sitting there going, my man, it's always in America as well. My man has to earn fucking $4 million a year. The guy's sitting there going, bitch, you're deluded.
What number of the population earns 4 million? 30%? Like,
Aye, people are clueless.
Oblivious. Clueless.
Totally clueless. But you're right, Evan. It's
Oblivious,
totally women's fault as to why.
absolutely.
That poor
So
guy.
basically, this is what we've been trying to get to, isn't it?
That poor soul. No, guys, that guy defo needs like his brain analysed
110%.
for help. That's
And then
not good.
even the is it the Black Alien Project? The guy who's just
Yeah.
chopping everything off, but it seems that he's gave himself
Tongue,
3 fingers,
Dyed his
tongue,
eyes. Oh.
dyed his eyes,
got a
cut his
split in his
ears
tongue,
off,
ain't he?
cut his nose off.
So right. No, there's something. See that doesn't trigger me or vex me as much as the guy making himself taller.
Really?
Yeah. So see the guy like dyeing his eyes and tattooing himself and all that.
weird
And,
as
like,
He's
weird as
removing a
shit.
leg.
what?
He's removing a leg. He's getting a bionic leg.
Get to the bloke who wants to be.
There you go. Remove 2 of them, mate.
He's getting a bionic leg.
He wants to start getting like, wants to start having like, what would
Prosthetics
you
and
call it?
that.
Aye.
Oh.
I think it's.
I mean, he's obviously no right in the head. Like he is obviously a bit compromised, shall we say? But for lack of a ruder term that I would have used off air, for those who know. But I think that something like a guy like that actually doesn't bother me as much as the person that wants to make himself taller. There's just something about that I feel is very unsettling.
I think it's obviously the person doesn't obviously value himself. The person,
any way,
the reason I'm
shape
saying
or
himself
form.
because there was one in particular person that we came across, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen this one particular person. There's obviously, you just don't have any value for yourself at all as a man. None. For you to go to the extremes of paying money to compromise your life for how many years is it before you're back to normal again after getting something like that done, all for the sake of 10 centimetres.
I think
Do you
any
know-
man that gets any form of cosmetic surgery in that way, just purely based off of aesthetics, I question them a wee bit.
He needs a good role model. That's what that person
It's a
needs.
fucking slap.
Nah, but do you know what I was actually going to say is, like, I wonder what the kind of process from like inquiring to get something like that done
No.
till the actual
Event.
the operation, like how long's that, what does it entail? But then also say you're going to spend 50 grand on that
As
right?
quick as you can get it done.
Well,
Right.
this is how much is that going to
Well,
cost?
I'm pulling a figure out
Yeah,
my arse,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
50
Google
grand, right?
I do it, Google it
There
because
should-
then.
there
No,
should-
Google it.
There should be a caveat to that saying, right, you need to spend the same or half of that amount on
With a psychiatrist.
shit like that, just to make sure that it's exactly or therapy.
That's what I'm
that-
saying. There should
I
be
feel, like if, I feel like if you were doing it in the
vetting.
UK, that would probably maybe happen. Maybe.
America's still at the Wild West, man.
But I doubt you can probably get it in the UK, so you probably need to go elsewhere to
he's
get it
probably
done.
flying to like
Singapore or something like that.
I
It
was
will be
going to
like,
say Syria. Definitely
Aye,
wouldn't be
definitely.
flying
It
there.
might-
you might lose a leg, fuck's sake.
We'd probably fucking flying to Serbia or some mad country to get that done, man.
$70,000 to $150,000,
I'd rather shit myself.
Woo! That's a lot of dough, man.
depending on how many inches they want.
Is that what it says?
Aye.
It's 10 grand per inch. Thereafter, you're 100 grand
Jesus.
initial fucking thing. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy process, but it's a crazy world that we live in. And maybe you have to think about like what you were saying. Zooming back from like the women thing, but the general pressures to look a certain way, to be a certain way, to act a certain way in general anyway. And like you said, if he's had nobody, not even telling him that it's nobody else's job or
It's nobody else's
responsibility to give him a bit of like the self-esteem or the self-worth or the whatever. But it's just like, anybody close to him should not have let him do that. Like someone at that point has to step in and be like, enough's enough. Right. You don't need to be this much. You don't need to be taller. Do you know what I mean?
But, so obviously it's in his head and it's one of those things, isn't it?
Because do they surgeons say, "What's your reasons for what I get this done?" Do you know what I mean? Did they risk
Get all.
like no, but I mean, did it like
NBA. I want
Aye.
NBA.
This is what I mean, right? So it might be like, "What's your reasons?" and then they give the reasons.
But
And
they're
they
just so out of proportion. So you think about it just from day to day life, right? If you add 10, you're not adding 10 centimeters on your whole entire frame.
One
It's
area.
one area of your body, right? So it's from knee to hip. That's 10 centimeters longer, right? You make that longer, then you get this wee fucking stubby shin. You get wee arms, wee body.
So where does it go to next?
So wee buttock.
Does he go and he's like, "Here, what can I do in my back?"
Why don't you just fuck a few more vertebrae in there? Just make me a wee bit tall.
What's the procedure for fingers? Is that the same? You know what I mean? He's a wee bit on them.
Anyway, let's move past this. We've gave that.
We've
doc-
actually gave that
we gave
far
that,
too long.
we gave that geek
Far
way
too
too
long.
much fucking airtime.
That geek.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Jordan, you're doing something now that
I am.
you and a good few of your clients are up
Clients
to.
are doing.
What he's up to?
So we're doing 75 hard.
Is that some form of porn kind of thing?
Yeah.
Aye.
75
hard.
men, one room, one camera.
Sounds
I've
class.
seen that video. I've not.
Evans explored those corners of the corners of eFucked. Remember that website? Remember someone used to send you a link when you were younger to?
Leon's listening to this.
Oh,
Behave yourself.
Don't Google that, Leon.
definitely don't. Fucking BT
So
internet chat
expand,
the door.
what is it you're doing?
Get your safe search
Sorry,
on.
right.
What's Leon's boss name?
Safe search on.
Get your
Right,
safe
enough.
search on.
So 75 hard. So essentially, it's 75 days, consecutive days of conducting several tasks. Those tasks consist of 2 workouts a day, eating clean, a progress picture, 4 litres of water, reading 10 pages. I may have missed one, but you kind of get
One
the
of them
gist.
needs to be outside.
One of the workouts need to be outside, and you need to do it every single day for 75 days with 0 exceptions, deviations, alterations, anything to the plan. If you do that, you need to start back at day 1. So a bit of context, I've done this twice. I say done it, failed it twice, failed it in like day 12 and then day 62. Which
62?
We can get into the day 62 story. But both of those times I just did it myself and I didn't really talk about it that much and didn't really like post about it. So there was no like real accountability there. I was just kind of doing it because I wanted to do it, because there's a couple of people that I maybe don't want to say look up to, but a couple of people that I follow and keep up to date with online, like George Sheaton, Andy Frisella, like these guys, where I like what they do and I like the approach to life training business that they have. And those two, well, Andy Frisella is the guy that created the program, and then George Sheaton is the what do you call it? The creator, the owner, the director of the clothing brand Represent. And I just like everything that he kind of
Like
does.
the
And
vibe.
I like the vibe, and I was like, you know what? It's not far off what I'm doing anyway, but it's just more the kind of whole consistency part of it. So this time I opened it up to all my clients, and I'm not going to expect all my clients to do that. It's not for everyone, but probably more people than I was expecting rose their hands and went, yeah, I'll do it. So I think there's about 6 or 7 of us all getting after it. So we're on day 4, and I'm loving it.
Class.
And what's the... I thought you were going to expand. It's great. What's the purpose of it? Do you know what I mean? So obviously the thing is as well, people might look at that and go, that's just like another faddy, diety thing. Like,
Yeah.
what is the backstory? What's the purpose of it?
It does look like that a wee bit, and it does look a bit like it's maybe one of these Instagram things, or it's a bit of a fad, or it's whatever, and it's almost entirely not that. It's like the complete opposite, and it's not even as such like a fitness thing. It's more like a kind of mental resilience, a mental challenge over the course of 75 days, because apart from eating, sleeping and pooping, I don't think very many people can say that they've done something consecutively difficult for 75 days in a row. There's not going to be a lot of people out there that can actually say that they've done that. So that's the whole reason why it's called 75 hard, because it's meant to be hard. It's meant to be inconvenient, but it's meant to show you that you're able to do the thing that you said that you've done. And we speak about that a lot as like fundamentally doing what you said you'd do.
Keeping your promises.
keeping the promises to yourself. And I think that this whole 75 hard program goes into like there's phases thereafter the 75 days. It goes into the live hard program, and it's just a way that
So
you
there's
can
a
conduct
tier
your life.
above.
There's tiers above that kind of goes in to bits further. I've not looked too much into that because I kind of want to just like do this bit first.
Do the 75 days.
Do the
first.
75 days first. But it does seem like maybe it's one of you see things that like pop up on Instagram or TikTok about people doing this or people doing that, and it's more so like I am probably one of the worst people. It might not seem that to fucking people listening, but I'm one of the worst people for saying that I'll do things and then not doing them. I do it all the time. I did it with this podcast for like a year before I finally went, oh, we're gonna fucking do it. Do you know what I mean? So
And
it's
it's
like,
quite funny because you're also very impulsive as well. I mean,
yeah.
it's like two ends of the
It's
sword.
like he's impulsive, right? He does it and goes, I actually don't really care too much about this. 2 weeks in, I'm just going to stop.
Why am I doing this?
Why would I do this?
So yeah, it's one of those things that I almost want to prove to myself, and I'm loving the fact that I'm doing it with others as well. We've got like a kind of separate sub WhatsApp group with just the 6 or 7 guys that are doing it, and we're in there multiple times a day, every day. How you getting on with your water? How you getting on with your reading? What are you reading? What you plan on reading next? What are the workouts?
You need to read a book, not an audio book.
I was
Not
gonna
an
say,
audio
so
book. Not so there is like
Is Katie obviously helping you with that part?
she's reading it out loud to me.
Showing you the pictures, and she's reading the bottom.
I read the fine print of 75 Hard, and it can't be like a picture book or a book with 10 words per page, which is all Hattie's books. I can read them.
God.
So, so I've been, and the thing is, it's not that I'm adverse, the wrong word, maybe, against reading books. I've sat and read books, but I'm more of an audiobook type of guy.
I don't get any enjoyment from it.
That's changed for me now. That's changed for me. And I genuinely think that doing it with others is helping so much, because if I'm their coach, I'm not going to be the fucking first donut to fail it or tap it. That'd be horrendous, wouldn't it? Be the point in that.
Because that's the thing. You also you kind of need to lead from the front for them. Because what does that say about you? If you can't do it, how can you expect them to do the thing that you can't?
Exactly. And a lot of people will maybe think, I remember when I did it the first time round, my wee brother was like, that's a bit extreme. That's a bit
no
much.
point,
That's a bit. And I was like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was, it kind of, that is the whole point.
It's actually how it depends how you look at it, because first time I ever seen it years ago, I was like, fucking, like, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Right? Totally.
But now mindset's different, how I view things different. I'm like, it is unnecessary, but that's the full fucking point. It's like, I say it's unnecessary. Like, it's stuff that you wouldn't do. The reason you wouldn't do it is because it'd be hard.
Exactly. And it's the whole point. It's about doing hard things initially for hard things' sake, but it's to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than what you first thought.
You're going to stack wins doing it, right?
Exactly.
You're going to build confidence doing it. You're going to build competence doing it.
I think it's a good thing. So then, who would you say, like, should implement it? Does that make sense? Because it's definitely not for everybody.
Well, this is where I kind of somewhat potentially disagree,
Right.
because I think it can be for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is going to do it, obviously, but I think that it can be for anyone, because the intensity degrees, the intensity will vary person to person.
Mm-hmm.
It's much like you give an Olympian a training plan and you give Sandra a training plan.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be squatting, pushing, pulling, running, carrying, right? All that sort of shit. But to the degree in which they be doing it is different. So somebody's workout who doesn't really train, somebody's 2 workouts a day and one of them has to be outside. One of them might be, I'm going to walk for 45 minutes and then I'm going to do a body pump class.
Yeah.
Something they would probably do anyway. But on like the weekends and the days off where they do absolutely fuck all, they're still doing things.
So does a walk count as your outside workout?
A walk can count as your outside workout.
Okay, well, that's fair.
So, which seems a little bit easier. We've kind of upped the intensity a wee bit, because I think everyone, when we started Monday, did that Monday and Tuesday, 45-minute walk outside, like getting on the Apple Watch, making sure we're clocking it, putting it into the group chat. And Jason, Notorious, who was in, he's one of the guys doing it. and he put a voice note in, and he was like, we need to fucking stop being a bunch of pussies up this. Get some fucking kettlebells in your back garden. Get fucking into this. There was some more foul language and things that I will not share on the podcast. But he was basically saying, like, let's turn it up a wee bit. We're not. It's like, what, you walking to your boyfriend's house? He was like, come on. He was like, let's go, let's up it a wee bit. So that's why I dragged the rower outside, and I was rowing outside, doing some shuttle runs and all that. So it's like, aye, to the degree in which varies. So I might row outside and run outside and fucking do all this other shit, and then like go to the CrossFit gym and train there for like an hour and a half. That's because that's what I'm doing anyway. Whereas for someone who isn't as well trained as that, could easily do 2 45-minute walks.
Yeah. And how do you quantify clean eating?
See, so that was a conversation we had.
Diet, I think.
So it's follow a diet, but then when you dive deeper into it, it's like clean eating. So it's like, there's the podcast where he kind of first speaks about it. I went back and listened to it again, just so I gained a lot more perspective when people started asking me questions on it. They were saying, like, see, if you just count your macros and you fucking fit junk in around it, no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. So you can't be like, oh, it's okay because it fits in my macros. I'm going to have some ice cream. I'm going to have some pizza. Or whatever.
FYM, bad.
Bad.
Right, okay.
Almost anything else, good.
Right, okay.
So it's like, for me, that is genuinely just how I eat anyway, for the most part. Like, that's how I eat for the most part, like, but that's okay. So I'm like taking it. I'm not just having the ice cream or the pizzas or the burgers or the whatever. I'll just eat how I'm eating Monday through Friday, and then I'll just do that at the weekend as well. And then that's kind of it for me, if that makes sense. But they'll obviously have a few challenges, because I've got, I'm meant to be going out for drinks to celebrate the engagement, shit like that. So it's just, but I'm not, I've went a long stint without drinking anyway, so that's not too out the norm, but it's the food bit for me. I eat a lot. I like.
So how do you navigate that then? Like, so what's the?
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
Just don't eat it.
So eat before you go.
Eat before. I think one thing, the hack I kind of learned early on. See, if I'm trying to be more mindful of what I'm eating, and if I'm going out somewhere, I'll make sure I have something to eat beforehand. But then also, like, just take a protein shake with me, so like you're like somewhat satiated. So you're not making those impulses. You always just make choices off impulse, don't you? If you're hungry and you go shopping, you're going to buy shit. If you have something to eat and you go shopping, you're not going to be as likely to pick up the snacks and the fucking sweets and the this and the that. And anyway, so to be honest, not a great deal of things change for me, bar the consistency. That's the biggest change for me personally. For a lot of other people, it might be a huge drastic change in many different areas. But for me, it's like the consistency of it all for all 75 days.
Because over 75 days, maybe 60 days, 55 days, you're maybe doing all that stuff anyway.
Yeah,
like,
bar the weekends,
it's the consistency
apart from the
part.
reading, to be fair, like I'll maybe pick up a book every once in a while, but I'll always be listening to podcasts and audiobooks, but it's a whole actual picking up a book.
What are you reading now?
The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I think I've spoken about this book before.
I think you have,
It's like he's like an angel investor type dude. He didn't actually write the book. Someone wrote the book based off of his interviews, tweets, all the rest of it. Very good so far.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Good man.
Do you know, I'm going to do it as soon as I get back from Italy.
Yeah.
As soon as I get all the
fair, to be
pizza
fair,
and the pasta and the stuff out the way.
Doing it before, that's probably the worst place to go if you were going to start it before.
Aye.
Like the worst place.
Amanda would kick my head in if I was saying, sorry, I need to fit my workout in the new hen.
I know, yeah, I know.
All this pizza and pasta, nah, I can't have it.
Mate, so actually, when I failed, it's day 62.
Oh, yeah.
So we were going, me and Kate were staying a wee overnight. This is when she was still pregnant at the time, and we drove up to like Aberdeenshire, Ellen Way, and there was these wee pods kind of next to the beach. It was amazing. So we drove up there. We took the dog, drove up, had a great time. We're there, we're chilling, and we're not far from Ellen. And as it still did everything, still read, still got workouts in, walked on the beach, and then did a wee workout outside the wee thing. And then we're driving, and we're like, where can we go eat? And I was like, wait a minute, the Brewdog factory is in Ellen. One of the things is no alcohol. That was the thing I forgot.
Yep.
Is in Ellen. I was like, let's go. It was like, I'll be able to eat around it and all that, but it'll be cool to like go there. Let's go. So they are looking at the menu, and they've got like fire roasted chicken and all that. So it's like, yeah, fucking, I'll get that. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking about. And it's like the actual birthplace of the gaff, right? So picture it as going to like the Guinness factory.
Storehouse, which is class, by the way.
Which looks amazing. And even if you don't like Guinness, you're gonna get one at the end of it, and it's just a whole part of the thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm going like, you know what, fuck this. I'm getting a beer. I'm getting a fucking beer. So then I get a beer, and it was worth it. It was totally worth it. It was that worth it. It was amazing. Pint has never tasted so good. But then I had several drinks after it because I was like, well, fuck, I've had one now, so I might as well. And then at that point, I was like, the fuck did I do that for?
Guilt.
Like, why did I do that, man? Like, I was buying
62 days.
I got a gin and tonic and all that after it, and I was like, this is shite. It's tasty. I was like, what the fuck did I get this for? It's crap. So, 62 days, and it's kind of haunted me ever since. So then I was like, I want to be able to do it so that I have something that I can speak on and be like, here, I've done this or I've done this hard thing. You were talking about everyone should do hard things. Last podcast, I think we were talking about it. So,
I think, see, the profound impact and growth someone would have just off the back of actually being able to complete it and also sticking to the word. You could do anything. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the takeaway from it. You could literally do anything because people are unfortunately and inherently inconsistent.
Yeah, through and through.
Through
And
and
I had
through.
someone message me who's on like the phase 1 of the program where it goes into like 30-day chunks, and there's a few more challenges like added on there, like go for a cold shower or like 8 critical list tasks, like you need to complete 8 things, speak to a stranger. That's another thing that's on there. Like it kind of goes in a bit deeper.
That's a bit like, have you ever heard of Game? Is it called Game? Do you know what I'm
The
talking?
movie?
Not the movie, right? But it's basically like, it's maybe not called Game, but it's like that. See that whole speaking to a stranger. It's like guys try to pick up girls and they go and just speak to random.
Oh, yes, mate.
Do you know what I'm trying to?
Yes.
Do you know what it is?
Aye.
And what's it called? A Game.
Aye.
Right. Which is
The first time I heard that was in Pure Gym. Somebody was talking
it was
about
a
that.
guy. Do you know? It was a guy that worked with us, and he was doing it. I just thought it's because he was a mad like social weirdo.
Oh,
but
him.
it's not. It's because he was a mad creepy
He's a
weirdo.
mad creepy weirdo,
So
aye.
there we go. We'll expand on that in another episode.
Oh, right, okay. I was liking that.
you
I was liking that.
enjoying that?
But someone messaged me and who's on like the next phase of it, and he was like, "Oh, mate, like good on you. I did. I completed it. Whatever. The first part of it, and he was like, it genuinely has changed my life." And I was like, "Say less. I'm in. Let's go." So yeah, that's kind of
public accountability.
you're doing it.
Evan, my PT, will do it when he gets back to Italy.
Really?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Aye.
Imagine no asking us.
I know.
I just didn't think you would do it.
Well, I'd do
Me?
it better than you.
They ain't.
Fine.
I know.
If you do it better,
Fuck your 62 days.
if you would do it better than me, you'd do it the now. You'd start the now.
But then I'm going to Italy.
And what?
I want to enjoy my holiday.
Well, then there you go. That's if you were better than me, you'd do it the now.
No, I'm just going to do it when I do it better than you. So there you go.
But yeah, so that's what's been happening with me.
No, that's class.
Class.
What's next on the agenda?
Have you seen or heard of Michael Block? Now, this is an amazing story, right?
Fucking,
Now,
right.
right.
Danny has never swung a golf club in his life. In his fucking life.
Fucking watch me.
Right? Never swung a golf club in his life, but all you seem to talk about these days is fucking golf.
Like, obviously, TikTok's like just spitting out golf stuff to me, but I can't believe you haven't heard of Michael Block. Paul, have you heard of Michael Block? Right. This,
No one's heard of Michael
I'll
Block.
I'll tell you a wee bit about it. No. PGA Tour, right? There is something like 200 elites that are in the PGA Tour, right? But there's like 20,000 professionals. They're like PGA, they're just professionals. So every year when the PGA Tour starts, now bear in mind, I know a little bit about this, right? So I could be making a few mistakes here. But PGA Tour, there is 20 of the pros get an opportunity to compete to get into the PGA Tour.
So that excluding the people who are already in, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So 20. Well, everyone gets the opportunity to compete in it. All the professionals and all the elites and 20 professionals. Right. They all get, and then they get into the kind of PGA Tour and the tournaments and whatever. Right. And the the pros either never get in because there's no good enough compared to the elites, or if they do get in, they maybe fucking hit bogeys and they did because the rounds in the golf rounds are solid, really hard. So they never progress far, right? Then I never really spoke about it, and that's it. End of story. You just see the elites in telly and stuff. This guy Michael Block, he get in, and he's 48. Michael Block, let's try and get the Hogan one. He had one TikTok, right? Michael Block, he's 48. He's a professional. He's a caddy. He's local his local, his like kind of golf course. Loves his job, loves golf. Obviously gets in. It's like, this is quite a big moment here. I'm 48. I've never been in the PGA Tour before. Like, or I think he's an all pro. So like he's an all pro, but I don't think he's ever been to elite levels before. Gets in, gets paired up with Rory McIlroy, right? He's like losing his shit. Obviously, like, I can't believe him getting paired up with one of the best golfers in the world. This guy goes on to play a blinder, an absolute blinder. Gets a hole in one. Jordan, if you can get it up, it's amazing.
I'm just looking at an article, just talking about it.
He finishes top 15, like better than a lot of the elites that were playing in there. Top 15. The guy earned. They said that they've done an interview about it, just to let you know, you've earned 1900 times what you earn for a hour's lesson. So like just in this weekend of golf. And he was like, obviously it's like 300 grand basically, just for that weekend of golf. Plus the hole in one, he's get called up to like play in another tournament. He's getting invited to another tournament. They've made an exemption. So again, he'll earn fortunes doing that, but the fact he's getting to play amongst all these elites that he's watched on telly, the guy's probably going to get a movie wrote about him because it's like an amazing story. Do you know what I mean? People are going mental for him, loving him and all that. He's just such a nice, humble guy though. So the kind of reason I'm bringing up is it's such a nice story. It's like someone who is passionate about something, who maybe never just kind of got the opportunities and hit that level, to then at 48 when you kind of think probably done. It's never going to probably happen. For it to happen.
Talk about taking your shot, by the way.
Brilliant. And he's played a blinder. Do you know what? He's played amazing. And he almost didn't make the cut. Right?
Really?
For next, she's in next year now. So that's him. He's in the PGA Tour next year. That's him in.
That's
right?
mental. That's
Life's changed. His life has just changed. Completely just changed. And he almost didn't get it. So like on the 18th, hits a shot into the fans. Second, like he's 18, he's about to finish. Like he needs to do well in this round, and he makes a kind of shitty shot. He's then like left with a shot that 1 in 10 people make, maybe even 1 in 30 people make. It's like a hard shot. He needs to hit it to a kind of rougher bit of grass for it to roll perfectly onto the green. He does it and then makes the putt and like it's into the top 15. Just that, like, it's like hairs in the back of your neck stand up when you watch this guy. Feel
good shit. Do you know golf's something I wish that I learned when I was younger? I know. You can pick it up at any point, because at some point I'm going to need to stop playing rugby.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amanda. I've said this to you. She keeps asking me, how many seasons have you got left? As many as I can. But it's something I want to learn. Yeah. But it takes.
All my mates play it.
It takes patience.
All my mates play it, but the thing that I like most about something like that is the whole underdog story. The whole like nobody to somebody, the rise from the ashes, that type of shit. Like, see me, I love shit like that. Like, I watched that. Obviously, we were talking about the Notorious documentary last episode. We were talking about that and about how he came for nothing. And he's now one of the biggest names in the world, never mind just the sport of MMA. So then you also look at, I remember watching, in fact, not long ago, I watched that Air film, the Michael Jordan film.
One.
About the shoe deal, and it actually goes in, Michael Jordan barely in the film. Like the actor, you never actually see the actor's face, I don't think, who's playing Michael Jordan. You see like he's he's back.
Alluded to that
it's him, but it's more so kind of goes in on like his mum and how his mum did a lot of the dealings, but it was the guy who came up with the idea. There was like a scout, and like it was just this guy nobody believed. It was like, we're gonna just pick this one guy and we're gonna put everything in on him, and like we're gonna make this guy like he's going to be the next best thing. He's going to be it, and everyone's like, well, I don't know, yeah, like he's good and all that, and then everybody backs him, and then they make, it's just shit like that. I just love underdog stories. Like, so see stuff like that, whether it be golf, table tennis, don't give a fuck. I love seeing people do well. You know what I mean? What you trying to find this thing?
You look, you're
we get
to
it.
say
Look,
something.
Ball goes in hole. We get it. Doesn't matter.
Can I show you?
If you want,
I've seen a hole in one before, but
no, this you've no.
What a shot! Let's describe it
for the people listening back.
There's a ball in the air. The ball has hit the ground.
The ball is in the hole. Is it in the hole yet?
Dunks it.
Dunk.
Straight in the hole.
Oh,
Didn't even touch the green. Just boom, right in the hole like that.
Light the candle.
Wow.
Anyway,
Light the candle. That's cool.
it's cool. It's just a good, nice story, man.
I
Yes.
feel, do you know, I genuinely do like shit. I like seeing. I think
People winning, man.
people winning. I'm a cheerleader. Like I like to see people do well, but I think it's a very. I don't know if it's a Scottish thing or a British thing that they like to like celebrate people doing bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Fucking see him. He failed. Lol.
I remember there was again, I'm not really like a golf fan, but I'm not a golf fan or like nor am I a tennis fan.
Guys, just let you know we've now become a golf podcast.
But
We've got
there's-
so many different podcasts.
but there's
man.
like I can always appreciate like greatness. Do you know what I mean? I can always appreciate like elite level performances almost in like any
Across
field,
the board.
right? Across the board. I just like professionalism, people who are fucking good at what they do. And I remember there was one like I remember getting goosebumps watching it, and it was like somebody gave Tiger Woods a fucking iPad, right? So they're interviewing him, and here, watch this. So they're watching him, filming him watch this, and then it goes into the video, and the video is like reporters, fans, other professionals, like media, basically going, he's lost it, he's never going to come back, he's never going to do well again, his career's over, blah, blah, blah. And then so Tiger Woods is just sitting looking at the iPad, and then he just looks up and smiles. And then like that next tour, whenever it was a couple of years ago, he won. And I was like,
Brilliant.
fucking, there's just something.
You're my man.
I honestly like.
What
I
it take- what it-
care. I don't care about golf. Don't care whatsoever about it. But I was like, you have to appreciate that. You have to appreciate people who can just operate at a high level and see all the people
Excellence
that
in
fucking
anything, man. Love it.
excellence in anything. 100%, Evan. And I think that MD that is those people that like to shit on them. There's you'll never do it. You'll never do this. You'll never do that. Blah blah. Blah. It's just like you're just a dog.
Because
You're
back
just-
to the whole hater thing.
Yeah, you're just projecting your inability to do anything fucking cool on someone else who has done something cool.
I could have played for Rangers.
Yeah.
Could you?
Could you?
Could you?
Did
Says
you, aye?
every taxi driver in Glasgow, doesn't it?
Did you? But I done my knee when I was younger.
Oh,
man.
my
I didn't get
knees,
the taxis
man.
and
Knees couldn't handle it, man.
that's,
couldn't
literally-
have-
that's actually me. Lad, I could have played for the Warriors, but my knees, you know, I'm too short. I should get leg lengthening surgery. Do you know? Actually, if I was
If you got that surgery,
4 inches taller, I'd be a professional rugby player.
I think same. I think see if I was a couple inches taller, heavier, faster, stronger,
better at
at rugby,
Basically just a different person.
I would have. If I was Jonah Lomu,
You would be.
I would play professional rugby. Aye, mad that. Fucking mental, by the way. See if I was Conor McGregor, right? I'd probably.
You'd be good at fighting.
I'd probably be in the UFC.
You'd be good at taking tren as well and have a big massive heat.
yeah, that's growth hormone. That's done that.
Aye. Oh, did you see him in an interview? Was he talking to? Was it Ariel?
Yeah,
Ariel
Ariel
Helwani.
Helwani.
He
He was wired, mate.
wired to the moon.
He had a double espresso in front of him, but he also had fucking 4 lines of Charlie in the bathroom. before he came out.
Colombian espresso. Oh my god!
Dope
But his
that.
head is. We said this in the last episode. Girthy.
Aye.
So thick.
Is that okay? But he's also shaved his beard. How much a difference does that make?
He looks better with
Do you
a
know what I
beard.
mean?
He does. What even? We could also be a UFC podcast, by the way.
Also
and
be.
what weight is he going to be fighting at?
185.
185.
Did I not tell you?
One,
185.
You'll do as your
155. So there's a quote, right, that I think about a lot.
Never eat yellow snow.
I was going to say that.
No, you will.
you're on
No,
there.
you will.
Is that not the quote I gave that time? This is the quote, a life changing quote I heard.
Oh, maybe. Probably. What's the
so
quote?
it's by Gandhi. Shout out my Uncle Gandhi, right? Be the change.
Mahatma. No,
Be the change you want to see in the world, right?
Right.
I love that quote.
It's quite deep.
I love that quote because I think it's one of the most important quotes that anybody can hear. One of the most important things that anybody on this planet can hear. And it goes back to times where I've been in a low mood thinking, I wish this was the case. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. But this year especially, my mindset's been different most of the time, right? To the point where I don't think like that. I think, well, what can I do to put myself in that position where that is my fucking reality? What can I do? And this can apply to anything, right? This can apply to if you're like, oh, I wish I had fitter friends, right? If you're like the one person at your friend group who's fit,
You say
no
that
other
about
mates,
me.
no other mates are kinda right. Well, how can you change that for yourself? You can go to a place where there's other people that, like a CrossFit gym, for example. You need to
CrossFit wanker.
Right, you need to mingle. You need to speak to people. You're in a group environment, training environment. You're going to meet new people,
Like-minded
right?
folk.
Like-minded folk.
Yeah.
Same with business. I want to be a better businessman, but I just don't really know what to do. Network. Take yourself to positions where you need to go and be in a room, forced to speak to people who are fucking already doing it.
So you need to be. Yeah, it makes.
Like,
I think of
really,
two things when I hear that quote. I think it's something that you'd find in like your auntie's bathroom on the wall initially, off the bat.
Or you
Aye.
need to post it on our Instagram.
Yeah.
A quote.
It's next to a live, love, laugh poster.
You're right.
Right?
Oh,
It's
you're
something
right,
like
right.
that. But then when you do a lot of these cliche quotes, even though they are cliche and stuff like that, they do have true purpose and meaning and stuff like that you can fucking extrapolate and dive into and really apply if you want to.
Yeah.
Whether it be a change or whether it want to, I don't
'Cause
know,
I've looked
just
at
change
that
your life
quote.
in any way.
I've looked at that quote thousands of times.
I never thought about it.
Never thought anything of it.
Yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
what I mean, it's just
aye.
the mindset you're in when you read the quote and how you start to pick it apart, and you're like, oh wait a minute, this fucking has a lot behind it.
Yeah.
Aye, I just think about it a lot this year, especially that quote. Always kind of.
Is there a quote that you always think about?
A quote that I always
You're
think.
a bit of a quote machine.
Do you know, I do actually, right? I am not religious, right? Not religious at all because God's not real. And like, so
God's not
'cause
real.
God's not real. And if you think that man in sky created the world, you're an idiot. But that's fine. And that's
That's
for
fine.
another podcast. You can,
And
I'm
that's
a
okay.
God-fearing man, so
you
obviously I
can
disagree.
believe what you want, right? If you're an intelligent person like me, you believe what. But anyway, there's a saying in the kind of ethos behind it, whatever, kind of stuck with me, right? And it's God gives his, and again, I'm not religious, but God gives his hardest battles to his toughest soldiers, right? And what I kind of mean by that is you'll be given what you can handle. So see any time in your life where it's been terrible, there's been trauma or there's been shit happening, you can handle it. See if it's on your plate, you can get through it, right?
Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but
Yep, you can get through it. See, the thing is as well, see, any time you have gotten through something like that, you will be a different person
Yeah.
out the back end of it. Right? You will have grown from that. You will have learned from it. You'll be able to handle that again. See, anytime you get through something that's tough, you, by definition, you can then handle that. That's you leveled up as a person. Do you know what I mean? So that's actually stuck with me, even though I don't believe in God, but I do believe in that. Like
That.
you can handle the shit that's thrown at you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be thrown at somebody else.
There's a lot of religious things or principles or whatever, whether it be from Christian beliefs or whether it be from certain Muslim beliefs that you'll hear, and if you detach the God element from it, but then you look at the actual message itself, a lot of it is like things like that, and it's a lot of things that you can definitely apply to that it doesn't. You don't just have to be someone that goes to mass on a Sunday to be able to apply that to your life. Do you know what I mean? Like you really don't. And I think it's that it's something you hear different variations of things like that. Like you only be given what you handle and all this sorts of stuff. But nobody, like you were saying, like people will hear that over and over and over and over again, but never do anything with it. But I think that there's a reason for that. It's because they weren't maybe ready to hear it yet, or maybe ready to understand it, or ready to really dive into it. And maybe we're just at a point now where you could have seen that 10 years ago, you could have heard that 15 years ago, and then it wouldn't have sat with you the same. It's the same way when you watch The Matrix when you're a wee guy, and then you're like, you just seen fighting scenes, right? You're like, and then you watch it now and you're like, what, is this really happening?
Do you know, I've never watched The Matrix as an adult.
Watch it, it's good, man. It's good. You'll look at it completely different light. You'll just like look at it and be like that, oh, is this quite close to like this, or is this have it? I'm not saying that we're fucking living in it, but you can see
you can see the message.
you can see the message behind it, and you instead of just watching it for the fight scenes, which are cool, it's like because you're watching it when you're younger, as if you're watching John Wick now,
Yeah.
right? You just see fighting, and then you'll like skip bits to like get to the fighting.
John Wick 4, unnecessary.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it. Is it out? It's out.
Absolutely, it's out. Absolutely unnecessary.
All of them are.
No, the first three, I'm like, yeah.
No, even
number-
the third one was ridiculous.
No, but it's like number 4, unnecessary. Absolutely.
But that makes it fundamentally more necessary. There's a 10th Fast and Furious.
There is.
Unnecessary.
They went to space in the last one, I'm sure.
Did they? I gave up at like number 3.
Do you know, I would love to be a fly in the wall, see when the directors and like creative people are all sitting in a room and like they're brainstorming these ideas for the Fast and Furious movies. Right, hey guys, cars in space.
But that's all.
Imagine,
I
do you know
think,
what I mean?
I think that's
Where have we
genuinely
not
part of
had
it.
a car? Space.
Was they actually in space?
I've not watched it.
They were,
I gave up
They
as well, but I think
Really?
I think
two of them
they
were
were in
like,
space.
they went up.
I think it was Ludacris or something.
I was going to say Ja Rule. Ludacris.
Racist. A black guy, that is.
Black musician.
90s black rapper, enter.
No, but and then Han as well. Was it Han?
He's dead. He died Tokyo Drift, no?
Oh, maybe I can't.
Maybe come back.
Maybe I
We're in
can't.
space, so
Maybe he was in-
he could.
I wasn't that
Okay.
invested in
Right,
watching
okay.
it. Let's put it that way.
Okay, fair.
Wrapped that up.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy with that. And that was episode 44.
Correct.
2 4s. Wow. What? 2 4s. Wow.
I was like when a kid shows you a drawing. I'm like, wow. Not that impressive, but wow.
No, I was actually in my head. I was like, "Fucking hell, we've done 44 episodes of this."
I think we also say this every episode.
Uh-huh.
Let's get over the fact that we're just making episodes.
We're making episodes. We're fucking.
See, when we're at 100, then we can
out
comment.
the
69
content
and
and all
100, we
that.
can comment on
Hey.
like how good it is.
69.
Anyway, we're looking to grow this shit. We're looking to grow this podcast. So it's a requirement. You need to pay the tax. You need to
Pay the
share it.
man.
Pay the man. Right. Share it in your story. Share it with your maw. Like it and subscribe on YouTube. Tag us all. Do all that good shit. Be a good human. That's
Yeah.
us.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella.
Lovely.